Blog Talk Radio.
The motherfucking saga continues.
Blog Talk Radio.
The motherfucking saga continues.
Yo, what's up, world? It's badass thuggin' like I usually do, and you better turn it up, bust some speakers out, cause we off the motherfucking cuff. You dig how we do it? Dogbound Gangsters 2000 and beyond. Blah.
What's up with it, John? Man, don't change that down. This your play apartment, the legendary Cocaine. And you tuned in live to Off the Cuff Radio. Better not touch that down.
Yeah, this is Cassidy, the hustler. And right now, you listening to the Guillotine. Show them the respect they deserve, man. Off the Cut Radio, man. Y'all already know how they doing it, man. I need y'all to stay tuned. They've been doing it for years, so show them the respect they deserve. And you heard it out of bars, mouth. Easy.
Keep it moving like this. Yo, this your boy Rampage. You're not rocking with the best. With Off the Cuff Radio. Classic. History. Fix your face to all you haters. We off the cuff, baby.
What's up, everybody? This your girl, Bonnie Dollars, the Queen of Trap, representing Crenshaw, and you are now tuned in with Off the Cuff Radio. What's up? What's up, y'all? This is Miss Irresistible, giving a shout-out to the livest show on Friday nights, Off the Cuff Radio, and I'm live from the 704. Make sure y'all tune in for the blazing hot music.
What it ain't, what it do. It's Chili Chill from that original Lynch Mob. Off the Cuff Radio, always where it's at on Friday nights. West, y'all.
Visualizing, realizing my pedigree. Top of the food chain where I remain to be. Crushing the competition catastrophically. Top 5 dead or alive. Talk otherwise, y'all bugging. If you throwing shade on my pin game, bugging. I am gasoline to an open flame, bugging. Light a match, I react the same. Is you bugging? Clout chasing, time wasting, man, y'all bugging. So get off my dick. Off the rip, I'm off the shits. When my tongue lifts off and wet. Ginsu sharpen off your lid. So park and sit as I sit back and spark the pit. Then reminisce on how dark it gets when other rappers witness on how I black out and lose consciousness. Written on the wall in blood like some crayon before the seance to stay away from peasants, lames, and peons. If you breach my breach, then the 9 will speak. Trigger fingers flexing fast as hell like ASL parts of speech. I throw 7s in the air for the hearing impaired. Looking sharp on luxury wares designed by my melanated peers. Tailored suits, bulletproof. Respect the code and be the first to shoot. Kick back, hit harder than Hiroshima. Golden age like the fever. Golden child, my demeanor. No faux pas. Let's go, Czar. Put them in the blender and get into their chest. I be getting to the checks. Just doing it, I guess. Strike fear in the hearts of men like a titan on mic devices. So what your vice is? Mine's is I'm the nicest. Straight stomping down the demon path. Break my foot off in your ass. Take your plate, eat your food and hand it back. Playing for keeps, keeping the score. Ain't no calling off these reservoir dogs. You best pack it in, dogs. Extendo longer than sequoia tree logs. Flip your body like a trapeze toss. Floating through the air like gravity with the G off. Skull face Grendel, the big boss. Arms cross akimbo. A gorgeous nightmare like Sade mixed with Jigsaw. The hand cannon blam them until the clip cough. Peach cream soda Wiley's giving you withdrawals. I'm too raw and I'm too real to ever give a fuck how you feel. Play with my words and syllables like a pin predator. My ops turn manador, just dodging the beat. Problem with me? That's not a POV that you trying to see, cause you bugging. So I'ma call you on it. You know Czar, the word alchemist, balls of Nazareth, knock you off your atlas with a soldier preciseness that's quite damaging.
Yeah, man. We live and direct off the cuff radio. We had a little technical difficulties, but we live and direct in the building on this Monday night exclusive. I think it's episode 639, I believe. And this show is sponsored by Buddy Boy Entertainment, Screwball Radio, Da Vinci Clothing. Got my host T-Max with the facts on the line. Hold on one second. I'm gonna bring T back on here. Hold on, be patient, man. We been making sure everything is running smooth. Janky. But nevertheless, I'm gonna wait till he come back. But in the meantime, our guest for the night for this exclusive episode of Off the Cuff Radio just dropped the dope LP, kind of the Devil's Execution of Volume 1. Hard rhymes, hard beats, tech talking that real-ish. And we need it for hip-hop culture, man. I mean, we've been, on this campaign run with him. Very solid guy. And he's here to tell his story, talk about the project with his hour. What's all that for my man, Scholar Czar, the Off the Cuff Radio. You heard? What's good out there?
What's good? Peace, Don. What's good, big bro?
What up?
What's good, T-Max? How you feeling, big bro?
All good, man. All good. Great to have you with us, man.
All right. Yeah, pleasure to be here. Finally, you know what I mean? Getting that live and direct interview, you know what I mean? Live in the Matrix.
Man, look, it's always a pleasure in terms of when we make it come together like the A-team. The plan is A1. Obviously, King has said so many great things about you with this stellar project that you have. We're honored and privileged to have you on with us to discuss it. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Scholar Czar, you know what I mean? Newest member of Screwball Click. Record label was 2P Entertainment, out of Canada, Ottawa, Canada to be exact. Shout out to all my screws, 2P peoples over there, Ottawa, Canada. Been rhyming since I was a shorty, but professionally rhyming since like 17 years old. Originally from Detroit, Michigan. Been all over the world, been in the military, was in the Army for a while, for 8 years, 2010 to 2018. Always was rhyming, even in the military. Cats always knew I had the bars. They was telling me like I should go far, you know what I mean, get up out the military, get into the music industry. So at first I was putting everything on the back burner, just doing my grown man thing. But after a while, it's like, the beats, they keep calling you. You got that bug in you, it's in you forever. So from that point on, I just started taking it more seriously again, getting back into the rhymes. And from 2018 to now, I just been grinding, putting myself out there, getting the ciphers, battles, radio hosted battles, and just putting the real hip hop back out there in the industry like it needs to be. No more of this commercial top 40 bull crap. The underground is where hip hop needs to be.
Absolutely, man. I mean, look, when you're talking about you be dropping them hot 16s exploding like IEDs, now I mean, it's always good to see it where, you are a vital component, and especially, shout out to Screwball Radio. They've been rocking with us, and we've been rocking with them for so many years. You said about coming out of Canada, of course, they have their own hip hop legacy as well as Socrates, Chaclair. Man. And of course, Michigan. I mean, it's self-explanatory. Everybody from the old school, you know, with Jack Frost to Eminem to the new school with Payroll Giovanni, I Swear Bezo, Babyface Ray, Cash Doll. You know what I'm saying?
G-Mac Cash. Yeah.
So, yeah, man. When you found during your time in the military, what did you find in terms of the discipline and the routine that was instilled in you that you were able to translate in your transition to doing music?
Right. Well, definitely built structure, helped me to further my discipline and just the morale, believing in yourself, and having that team effort around you for support, that brotherhood, sisterhood in the military, and camaraderie. You know what I mean? It taught me how no one man is an island. You need a solid team behind you. And my OGs, my duns at Screwball, brought me home into the fold. That's Infamous Mob Deep, Screwball. It's a blessing, and it's a dream come true ever since I was a shorty, listening to everybody in Screwball, bigging up them, going to their concerts, live shows, and events, to now being a part of Screwball and leader of the division of Screwball West Coast. So out here in California now, currently in Long Beach, just representing the west side of
LBC 562, yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Long Beach, 562, stand up. You know what I mean? We got one, Long Beach.
It's about merging. It's about merging those movements together. You know what I mean?
That part, yeah. And that's a beautiful blessing because Screwball has been nothing but helpful. Big shout out to my big brother, Black Poet. He's the one who, you know, tapped me on the shoulder and is like, we got you from here on, Don. We're going to take you under our shoulder and you know, show you the ropes. And King Eric and Comment 5000, those been my big brothers, my duns on the radio side, showing me the industry side of the game. And it's about patience and tenacity and staying fast in your craft. Like, I've been working and rhyming and grinding at this for a minute now, and Comet and King Eric have been showing me the way, and now pleasantly being introduced to you, brother T-Max. It's all been a blessing. I don't want to sound too cliche, but I'm real happy to be here because I knew I would be here eventually, but I just didn't know what time or when, but I knew it was coming.
Look, what did YZ say in Return of the Holy One? He said God's works in mysterious ways, and he's always on time. Then we got to
That's
chill
right.
up.
Yeah, always on time. Not on my time, but his time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. When you came up in terms of the rhyming, obviously the legacy of Screwball is one of the most respected, one of the most honorable. The legacy and the legend of them resonates hard, but we know in terms of the genesis of your journey into this, it started before them. Who were your influences and started when you wanted to get into this game in terms of, you know, being a full-time rhymer?
Right. That's a beautiful question, T-Mac. I start off with the legendary group Mob Deep, big MIP to my brother Prodigy, Bandana P. You know what I mean? Havoc. Alchemist with the sounds, but yeah, listening to them and Wu-Tang Clan, two of my favorite artists out of the clan being Ghostface Killer and Raekwon the Chef, just been my role models, cats I study and look up to when as far as sharpening my pen. And of course, can't forget my brothers Screwball. I've been listening to them ever since the Y2K album. You know what I mean? And the PhD era with Black Poet and PhD. That was just a phenomenal run. And it's just inspiration going off that. Like studying the craft underneath all of the greats would only make me great. So just developing my own style, you know, not really biting, but just taking influence from each and every one and formulate my own craft. I call my style aggro rap. You know what I mean? It's like how ODB, there's no father to his style. I don't know nobody else that could rhyme like me, that's got that aggression like me, the passion like me. And I'm just proud to bring it and be an asset to Screwball and anything that they need, you know what I mean, from off the cuff radio to Screwball radio, and pass that legacy on to 2P Entertainment as well, helping us out, bringing my album out in the forefront. I wouldn't be here without my brother from Ottawa, Canada, my manager and my partner in rhyme, Jordan Hanley, and my brother on the beats, Calvin Crime. So if y'all looking for that hot sound, that new wave in hip hop, especially from Canada, then you want to tap in with Calvin Crime, tap in with my brother Crates. You know what I mean? 2P Entertainment, Screwball is love, you know?
Absolutely. All your influences that you mentioned prior to Scholar,
Mhm.
the the influences for those that understand the cloth of creativity, the
Right.
foundation of what they would lay down. When you look at that era of hip hop from the 90s, what do you feel in terms of the impact of how it influenced so many generations, in terms of the classic material, how it was created, and how it still lives on to this day? And incidentally speaking, where a lot of people have universally acclaimed Mobb Deep Shook One's Part 2 as the greatest hip hop beat ever.
Yeah, yeah. The greatest beat to freestyle on, the historical meaning behind where it's from, being Queensbridge, the biggest project on earth. You know what I mean? 41st side, 40th side, 12th Street. It's just an influence and a tapestry of hip hop history, as you will. You had artists from like Nas to MC Shan, even Black Poet back in the days with the Bridge Wars, all the way to Screwball now, and can't forget Rapper Noyd and Ty Nitty. Just a lot of historical people coming out of QB. Yeah.
We've said this on the show, and I don't think, and we respect everybody who has contributed to the culture, East, West, down south, but we can unequivocally say that Queensbridge, no other borough, no other place has contributed more to the culture than Queensbridge, hands down.
That's right. And I'm just honored. The fact that I've gotten the ability to keep that history moving, keep that history prominent in hip hop. Because, you know, respect to the Bronx. Everybody want to say, you know, it started out in the Bronx, you know, and then Queens, but it's like always been neck and neck to me. And I always want to big up just everything historical about Queens. Just the movement that happened in hip hop wouldn't happen without Queens, just like it wouldn't happen without the Bronx, Staten Island, you know what I mean, money making Manhattan, and all the way to Detroit to now to Long Beach, even to Canada. Like I said, it's a blessing to be a footnote in that history. And hopefully throughout time, people see my grind and my hustle, a prominent figure on that Mount Rushmore of the QB greats.
Absolutely.
What was that moment where you was like, one day you was like, okay, I want to pick up the microphone and really rock it out? Like, what was that moment where you was in, let me jump in the ring and do this?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question, E. Yeah, 7th grade, UPS middle school or junior high school, UPS junior high school, at the lunchroom table. I never forget. This exclusive for everybody watching, all right? My first line when I was like officially like, you know, grabbing my nuts and saying, let's do it, all right? I was at the table. It was beating on the table. They was like, what you got, Moss? What you got? Come on, K. Everybody used to call me K when I was little. So, yeah, what you got, K? And I was like, supercalifragilistic expialidocious. My rhymes is like Houdini, so watch me hocus pocus. And that right there had them all like, ooh. And I was in 7th grade. So I was like, I was shy, but I knew I had the gift. And I was like, I hope this works. I hope they feel it. And everybody at the lunch table just went crazy. It was like, oh. So I knew I had it. I knew I had something.
Man, and that level of confidence, because rap is such a personal art. Nobody can tell you how to rhyme, and it's something that you develop on your own with the merits of creativity. And it takes time to really find your style. But when you got that, such a raucous and enthusiastic response, how did that lay the template for you, knowing that, you know, maybe I can do this?
I would say it really comes down to a few things. Skill, confidence, knowledge of the arts, the history. You got to have the knowledge of the art form. I would tell any upcoming MC, any upcoming rapper, if you don't know where hip hop has came from, then you don't know where you're going to be going. You got to know about the Rock Kims, the Coogee Raps. You know what I mean? You got to know about the MC Shans, the Roxanne Shantays, the Nas's, the Black Poets, the Common 5000s. You know what I mean? The Hectic Negrons. You got to know their history, and without that, you only have a fragment of a piece of what it takes to be successful. You got to have the passion and the drive. Most importantly, I say the confidence. Without that, without believing in self first, without having knowledge of self-love, you won't be able to hone your skill and sharpen your blades the way they need to be.
When we look at the game today, Scholar, and obviously we understand the obvious. The name itself resonates with so much authority and power. Scholar being a man of academic prowess and scholarship, and Czar meaning, a ruler, a king, like Tsar Nicholas in Russia. You know what I'm saying? So name, so it you wear that title with distinction, honor, integrity, and most importantly, definition. When you see a lot of these artists today, and I wanted to ask you and King this, where is the deficiency in terms of where a lot of these artists are coming in who want to rap, but they don't understand what it means in terms of the tradition that they're choosing to follow in, and to do it with dignity, originality, and respect to those that came before them?
Right. Yeah, you have to know about the architects. Like, it makes no sense for you to get into something and to not know the total history of it. So I'm not only a MC, but I view myself as a fan of the artistry, a fan of the talented architects that are the MCs within the artistry, and as myself, as someone wanting to carry on tradition. A lot of people get into this rap industry and think it's about a quick buck, or they want to, be popping on Instagram, or they want good streams on their Twitch or Kick or whatever. It's not about that. All of that is like the dessert. It's secondary. The foundation, the knowledge is where it comes from first. So in order for me to be one of the greats, I would have to study the greats. That's why I say Ghostface Killer, Raekwon the Chef, Black Poet, the whole Screwball, Mobb Deep, The Roots, Common, Slum Village from Detroit, you know what I mean? Danny Brown from Detroit. Just studying my history and knowing who they are. So when you get asked the heavy hitting questions, you won't just be looking like a deer in headlights. You'll have the knowledge and understanding, and you'll have your own gift in your craft.
Yeah, that's been like a major issue that we've been having. We've been having a lot of outsiders coming into the game with no form of knowledge, but they get they get to get a seat at the table just because they bring like views and subscribers. But you really put them onto the task, they don't know nothing.
Not a damn thing, and that's sad, because we are the ones to carry on the future of hip hop, and I look at it as a prestigious honor to be a part of such a historical group as Screwball. Being invited into the fold of Infamous Mob and Mobb Deep, my affiliations with Wu-Tang Clan, and that's not to be taken lightly. So I take my role very seriously, and that's part of why I gave myself the name of Scholar Czar, smartest king. A lot of people be like, how you say that? They can say one half of the name, or they can't say the other. It's like you got to have both. It's the scholar and the czar. It's Russian and Greek for king, like an oligarch, or just like you said with the czar knowledge. Like that's what it is. It's about knowledge and understanding and wisdom, but the benevolency and the prowess of a king and a title on a throne. Like, it's important. You rule over a whole nation with your words, with your actions, and I want to take charge in the best way I know how, with my intellect, my conscious thought, and just dope rhyme skills all in general.
Well, that is the aura of regal, which by extension is king behavior, which is,
that's right.
Which is it's a state of mind. It goes beyond ethnicity. It goes beyond race. It's a state of mind in terms of understanding that the accumulated wisdom of one that is able to impart the wisdom and instruction facilitating construction and not destruction is the architect of the rise. That is something people have to understand. This is about upliftment in the culture of what we're all about. This isn't about trying to destroy. We're trying to build. When you look at where the state of the art is today, Rhapsody recently did an interview, and she talked about how, and it's been making a lot of waves and even some controversy, but it's shout out to her for the truth she always brings about where the culture went wrong and how we let other people come in and dictate what is going on, what is fashionable, what everybody should listen to, and distorting and perverting it. And she has some strong things to say. What would you say, Scholar, about the state of the game today in terms of what's happened to the art?
Right. I would definitely agree with Sister Rap. Shout out to Rhapsody. I caught a little bit of that interview too. What she was saying and what I can agree with is hip hop has been commodified and it has been outsourced, if you will, to a lot of the outsiders. But a lot of it wasn't really by choice. We used to do this in the park. Like when it started off in Queensbridge and in the Bronx. They used to do it in the park. You know, anything they could to hook up they turntables to the outside electrical systems. The the venues that they used to have, clubhouses or whatnot, to perform in. It was like get it how you live by any means necessary. Sometimes people would tactically acquire their equipment. Sometimes they would get it off of resale or however you could get it, just to get your voice heard. And we didn't have no instruments, so at the time our voice was what God gave us, our actual voices, our thought process, and what it is just contributing to art and showing that we matter. Yeah, we in the ghetto, or we might be in the projects, or you might be disenfranchised somewhere, but you still have that voice, and you can use that as a tool to express yourself, to educate those around you, and to uplift your community. And that's all I really want to do. That's the main focus for me for hip hop: uplifting my community, enlightening our people. Letting everybody know that you're bigger than your block. You're bigger than just your neighborhood. You want to show pride in your whole community. Uplift where you come from. That's why I represent. Even though I'm originally from Detroit, I spent time in New York in the military. I'm here now in California, representing the West Coast, representing Long Beach, North Side to be exact. I just want to stand up and represent for everybody who didn't have a voice, or who doesn't have a voice, or feel like they can't speak their mind. They can listen to my music and feel inspired. And I think that's what we really want to do as far as hip hop in the future goes, and where we need to take it. We need to take it out of the hands of the businessmen, out of the conglomerates and the Fortune 500 people, and put it back into the hands of the community where it started, the streets. Hip hop is and will always be the streets.
And absolutely. You know what? And listening to your project, man, it what you just said goes in depth with the project, because it seems as though with the concept of the album, The Devil's Executioner, like, are you trying to execute the devil as in the ways that people think in society?
Exactly, Easy. You already know, dang. It's really a spiritual album, because when I first started making it, a lot of people got kind of leery. They didn't know, they had questions like, "Oh, are you getting into the dark arts with this album? Are you turning into Illuminati with this album? Are you a devil worshiper?" No, it's the ego death. It was really a healing process for me, and everything that I've been through, a culmination up to now. And it's going to be 3 volumes. Volume 1 was more of the ego death and the killing of Shaitan within the industry. You know what I mean? Speaking of the Illuminati and all of those evil things, like my big brother said, Prodigy, Illuminati want my mind, soul, and body. We got to take that back, and we got to give it back to the people who invented it. Like I said, it belongs to the streets. And then the second volume is more personal. It's more about my personal aspects, is my own plight, inner struggle, inner turmoil. And the last part is kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? The after the fact of it all. How do we how do we build and or should I say rebuild from the destruction of tearing down our own egos, tearing down the detriment of society that the devil has caused, and just rebuilding for a more heavenly purpose or honorable purpose, if you will. So it really entails with all of that. Like when you was first describing the album, E, I was like, man, he get it. And I didn't even have to tell him. Like, nobody had to tell you anything. There was no sheet notes or crib notes. And I wanted it to be that simple for everybody to understand what the Devil's Executioner is really all about and what the name of the album really means.
Yeah, it's kind of like how you based it off. How Prodigy did the volumes, like the Helligan dialect.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just always want to put my brothers, my big brothers, my Duns, before anything I do, because I wouldn't be anything without them. If it wasn't for Prodigy, if it wasn't for Havoc, Alchemist, if it wasn't for Screwball, I wouldn't have this knowledge of self like I do. You know what I mean? And I owe that all to them. So I want to carry on Prodigy's legacy. I want to, carry on tradition in all sense of aspect. Like I'm QB to the heart. Like I'm Queensbridge to the heart. So I always want to give love and pay respects to the architects who built it and show them that the art form is not dead.
Absolutely. When you think about the title, it is a very profound one. It is very poignant because it speaks to, it's a battering ram of reality in terms of rap that has to bring the full force. It's storming the gates in terms of what's been going on.
That's right.
And when we look at the culture today, there are so many unsavory elements to it in terms of certain aesthetics, in terms of fashion, in terms of how it's being presented. It's not what we grew up listening to.
No.
And your album is a timely cure for the ills of what is going on. When you sat down and conceptualized this, Scholar, what did you feel? Was there a particular instance that inspired you to do this, or was it just an accumulation of what you had observed that you felt this had to be addressed in such a visceral and poignant fashion?
Right, I would say it's both. It's a double-edged sword because I think it's both sides of that. I wanted to represent where hip hop had came from, where it is, and where it's going. And from a personal aspect for myself, I wanted to tell my story and the culmination of everything that brought me to the point to where I decided to come out with the Devil's Executioner and introduce that as my shot in the dark, if you will, as my voice to be heard in hip hop. It's really also a concept album as well, because I want to take the time to give shout outs and say rest in peace to MF Doom. The name of that,
absolutely.
Yes, exactly. The name that I go by on this album isn't also just Scholar Czar, but it's another pseudonym, Metal Face Grindle, MF Grindle or MFG for short. And I wanted to take all of my listeners on an adventure, just like how the great MF Doom did, narrating the story, telling the story through words so you can see it visually through your third eye. Metal Face Grindle is a warrior at the end of the day, represents everything that I've been through, from fighting overseas in Afghanistan to slaying the devil in my own ego, my own self. I look at him as a warrior, as a soldier, and somebody who wants to pay respects to all MCs in the art form. And he looks up to MF Doom, and he just tells his own story through the rhymes of Scholar Czar. So it's like not only a pseudonym, but it's like an alter ego when on stage or when performing, and a different personality. As far as the plethora of other names I have, MC names, and I really wanted to pay respects to MF Doom in the best way. And I didn't want to take his style, but I, like Bishop Nehru, I'm a student under Doom. So I just wanted to pay respects to him, and I know he had passed on Halloween Day, and it was just so many things that were lining up And I figured like I had to do it. Like I didn't want MF Doom to just disappear in the dark. I know how many fans he has worldwide, you know what I mean? And the obscure fans, people who you wouldn't think would love hip hop, one of their first favorite artists is MF Doom. So I wanted to pay respects to him, and I wanted to continue on the art of storytelling, you know what I mean? And shout out to Slick Rick, shout out to Andre 3000, all my prominent writers, Nas, of course, an immense storyteller. And I wanted to just carry on that tradition and keep that alive. There's not enough storytelling in hip hop no more. It's a lot of shoot this, kill that, you know what I mean? A lot of like sexual bars. And I'm not perfect. I have my own, you know, section in my rhymes, my own chambers where I do those things. But it's about artistry, the way you form your words, the poetic license of it all, if you will.
Absolutely. Perfect segue, because when you talked about the violence in hip hop, because hip hop came from the street, there was always an intrinsic link of what happened out there, and it wasn't always pretty.
Right.
When we look at what is going on today, the conflicts of the concrete where people get laid out on the street has always been there. We're seeing a different time now, y'all, where the violence has become way more pointed, personal, and ultimately deadly in the dialogue. You were overseas in the military in terms of understanding what warfare really was. And a lot of young people get out here with the guns and think that they're tough until they realize the gun didn't stop being made when they got one.
Exactly.
What did you, from your experiences in armed combat and looking at how so many young people are willing to engage in it without understanding the seriousness of it, what is your take on where the game is today, and how conflicts have raged like wildfires, where the sparks get set off and then flames get shot, you know, and people get burned from it?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, T-Max. And I don't brag about it too much because of the gory things that I've saw or that I've seen. And then being here on the West Coast with all of the gang violence and the inner city turmoil that's going on, I think it's like the perfect place for me to be, because I really didn't see myself being a pillar of West Coast hip hop or being over here on the West Coast at all. At first, I thought I was just going to go back home, live a quiet life, or you know, maybe get in my culinary arts bag, because I'm also a professionally trained chef. I was a chef before. Yeah, it's a lot of layers to my story. We might have to do a part 2 to this or a part 3 for every volume of The Devil's Executioner. Yeah, so I think this is the perfect place for me to be. And I'm very proud to say, you know, Long Beach has embraced me. California has embraced me. All of my gangbangers out there, no matter what set they come from, they've all embraced me, from the Asians to the Hispanics to African Americans. It's been a really love movement in a sense, because ever since I got out here, doesn't matter where any people come from, east side, west side, south, north, they've all embraced me, and they've all given me the key to the city, if you will, to put Long Beach on his back, put California on his back, and represent. And being in Afghanistan, I've seen bloodshed. I've seen just horrible atrocities of warfare, but I've also seen beautiful, wonderful, peaceful things. I've seen about probably 50 shooting stars like in the sky. People don't know Afghanistan has a lot more vegetation than desert, and at night you can see all of the stars. I mean, every last one of God's creations you can see shining ultra bright. And then when you wake up in the morning, you're out on foot patrol, you know, you might see terrorist brains get blown out, or you might see a woman who's been deformed from an IED blast, all types of things that'll shock you to your core and make you wonder, in the human experience, why do we do these things to ourselves? Why do we choose to go to war with ourselves? And it had me asking a lot of profound questions to myself, as far as what does it mean to be a soldier? What does it mean to, fight the American fight or whatnot for God and country, as they hype and put in your brain before they send you off to war? And it made me question religion, made me question politics, and really it made me rewire and restructure my train of thought on just how we live as a society, and when is warfare necessary. Most times it's not. A lot of war can be solved with peace talks. can be solved with just interactions amongst understanding other people's histories and traditions, religions. But we have to lose our ego, and that goes back to the ego death of the devil's executioner. You have to lose that attitude that I'm better than everybody, bigger than everybody. Being in hip hop, you want to have that air about yourself, but you want to maintain that humility. And that's what that's taught me. Being a soldier, being overseas, it actually integrated in my art form as an MC drastically.
Absolutely. In a genre that is predicated on supreme self-confidence and assurance of one's perceived superiority, people also have to understand too that it's about conveying a message that resonates.
That's
and
right.
I think sometimes when we look at the game today, a lot of artists have the supreme confidence, lacking lyrics, but goddamn, their confidence is out the world. You can't tell them they can't rap, but they will say, they got the aura of 1,000 comets ready to hit the earth, saying, "Here I am," and look, and I'm exploding on contact.
Yeah,
coming. Go ahead, King. Go ahead.
Yeah, my bad. But there's another problem that we have now within the culture. It's called stan culture, meaning that people they're not connecting with the music anymore. They're trying to connect with the people's personality and personal life.
Yeah.
So
right.
The music starts to become secondary, and that's the sad part.
Right. Yeah. And that's a great question too, E, because I also want to take the time out to tell all of the Screwball Warriors, the 2P peoples, and all my Wu-Tang Killer B fans. I like to call all of them my fam base, FAM base, instead of fans, because I think that word fan is so overhyped and so overused. I've been focusing more on my music page, let alone my personal page, which is my actual name, Kevin Moss. That page is no longer existent for friend requests. So I want to bring the music prominent in the forefront. All of my fan base, please tap into the Scholar Czar fan page that's on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. I want to connect with y'all, but I want to be respectful to the people who I love and my real true friends, and keep them private. I'm really transitioning from this unknown artist into now the forefront and leader of the West Coast division of Screwball. Like, I take those titles seriously, and I want to keep that balance. So I think really with stan culture, it is about balance, because we wouldn't have that term stan if it wasn't for the God Eminem, if it wasn't for him shining light on that aspect. Because I think there's a thin line between being a fan and being a lover of music, because fan is short for fanatic. I don't want it to be to the point where people are passing out at my shows or stomping all over each other to get on stage to me, or they just simply want to autograph or to be seen with me. All of that'll come. But we have to take back the patience. You have to watch a so-called celebrity or rapper or whatever build his or her name up first before you can fan out over them. Like, a lot of people don't even know me yet, but they want to get a piece of me. It's like, let me bring the art to you, and you guys meet me in the middle and support the art. That's why one of my favorite phrases that I put online right now is the hashtag called support dope art. That's the wave. I want to bring back artistry. I want to bring back community in hip hop. And I want all of the fans to, kind of take a chill pill. Like, we all have to be in tune with each other. I have to be in tune with my fan base, and my fan base has to be in tune with me. And we have to equally love and respect each other, and just remember boundaries.
Yeah. We look at social media today. And it's so different now because it has facilitated a means of close quarters contact and how people are able to communicate. You got a lot of artists out there that do run their own IG accounts and their own social media accounts, and that does facilitate a means of communication. But by some point, when people start to be overly fans that go into stans, it's almost like some people feel like they are entitled to your personal space.
Exactly.
And that's where the problems come. And this is what I also we've been blessed to do this for so long. This is what we tell artists a lot of times off the air. Be very, very careful about what you put out there, because you do not know. When we look at Rebecca Shriver, rest in peace, from My Sister Sam, where she had that crazy fan kill her. You know, when you had that crazy girl shooting at Rihanna and ASAP Rocky's house. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you don't know where people's minds is at.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we want people to understand it's okay to enjoy the work, to support the dope art, as you said, but understand that these are people first. And we tell these artists, do you look, everybody they in their mind, they want prime Michael Jackson and Prince, like, you know, everybody falling out, you know what I'm saying, bitches swooning, you know. And it's like and it's like,
I don't know, I can't moonwalk across the stage, but I could yell out "Who hand." If you hear that "Who hand" and I hear it back, I know that y'all tapped in.
You're like, what? You know what I'm saying?
You know?
You know? So yeah, man.
Exactly. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, you know, another thing I want to touch in on too is that these people that are pretty much the sole controller, they don't have no connection with black culture at all, man. Like we even said that the other day with the whole thing with the whole old deal with Drake, when he was talking about trying to get on Wayne on for talking about Marvel. I'm like, nigga, everybody likes Marvel and wrestling and comic books. What are you talking about?
I'm like, when did this nigga become the cool police dictating to us policy on what we can like?
Exactly.
Yo, that inspired a lot of the rhymes that we hear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
MF Doom created one of the most ingenious rap shticks ever with Dr. Doom. Yes, shameless plug for the book The Chronicles of Doom by S.H. Fernando. If y'all have not read it, go pick it up. It is the whole life story of Doom. You will love it. It tells Doom's whole story from beginning to end.
That's awesome.
I mean, when you look at Raekwon, when you look at we look at Ghostface with the Iron Man. I mean, I'm like, you know, and you're gonna, and Drake gonna, and of all people, Drake, Aubrey. You got
Aubrey is going to tell us. You got the dudes.
home.
You got the dudes that was getting babies in high school thinking they're cool now.
Right, exactly. And I'm glad y'all mentioned that and stated that comment, because I want to piggyback on that with my single Devil's Name California. I talk about that because I mentioned Johnny Cash. Well, not Johnny Cash. I mentioned Dolly Parton. I mentioned Elvis Presley. You know, I mentioned the Duke. A lot of those have whitewashed our culture and have taken from us and don't want us to be acknowledged for the credits that we have. We created, as a people, every genre of music. We created country, we created hip hop, we created rock and roll, we created bebop, jazz, blues. It all started from a melanated individual, and that's not really bashing anybody else, any Caucasians who are guessing hip hop or guessing our genres of music, because there are some artists, you know, like I said, you have your Johnny Cash is who I love, your Reba McEntire's, the Dixie Chicks who stand up, you know, and know when the injustice of our government is being pounced upon, like on the people. Like, I just want everybody to get back to paying respects to the architects, us, our people. It started in Africa, it branched out around the world. Like, music is ours. And I put that as a single because I wanted it to be a statement piece to shout out to the corporate Americas and the record labels. You don't own us. You don't own us. You don't own our people, and you don't own our music.
That's powerful, man, because
exactly
we're looking at what has happened and how it's been hijacked. When we look at how these young artists are coming in and they don't really understand, you know, the ins and outs of the business in terms of, and next thing you know, they done got themselves locked into something, and they don't really understand it in terms of. That's right. And it's like, we want one thing about this. As long as we've been doing the show, we have preached ownership. We have preached independence. Even if you sign a major deal, make sure that you own your shit. And
exactly.
I mean, we're looking at the situation where a lot of these artists, and we hear the horror stories about how we look at how Prince had to fight for all those years to get his ownership.
That's so sad that he died the way he did. R.I.P. to Prince, because he was one of the ones that really gave us the knowledge. He even gave the knowledge to Nas, to DMX, to other artists that were in the industry, to Girl 6, his group, and he really let people know. It's like you have to know the business end just as much as you have to know the entertainment side of being an artist or MC. Like, just as much as you perform on stage and you love it, you have that love and have the passion for the business sense. You gotta know your publishing deals, and you gotta know about having your masters and what that really means.
Yeah. And one thing about it, Prince was a rare phenomenon that we will never see again at the level of how he wrote, composed, produced, performed. He was blessed with all the God-given ability he had, because for those that know that story and for old enough to remember it, he fought that case for damn near 6-7 years, but he was able to sustain himself financially because all he had to do was switch his name and then just. But that's a beautiful thing too, because he, in a way, Prince taught us the loopholes of the game. And that's why I have a plethora of pseudonames myself. Like, Scholar Czar is the main name. Like, that's the umbrella name over everything. But I also have Hannibal Hooks, Optimus Rhyme, the Bar Screamer, Kid Boogie, Metal Face Grindle. There's a plethora of names. So if I do get in legal trouble and you want to come after MFG, Metal Face Grindle, well, you gotta answer the Scholar Czar. You know what I mean? It's like you can't own me. I won't give you that chance. You know what I mean? I mean, even with Doom, when he had his Victor Vaughn, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had a whole lot of King Jador.
Hold on, fellas, I gotta reboot right quick.
Okay, all right. We got it. When you look at Long Beach, shout out to the East Side Longos and Saints, of course, Cambodia Town, Family Exotics.
Yeah, all the Asian boys.
Yeah, man, Asian Boy Crip, Stupid Young out there, Young Zeke, of course, Snoop representing Willie McGinnis. Can't forget Long Beach Poly out there. And of course, our big uncle, Kelvin Anderson of VIP Records on PCH.
Oh, yeah. And then also got to acknowledge and say Free Monster Yo. Free Monster Yo, one of the architects of the Insanes.
Yeah, man, and of course, Crooked Eye representing out there.
Yeah, Crooked Eye, Goldie Loc, and Snoop Dogg. Yeah, Trey D. That's right. Look, T-Max, you know your history.
Man, look, Rolling 20s and the Insanes, man. I was out in Cali last year. Shout to Kenya Ware of Kenya Ware Productions. Check out her Birth of a Crip documentary out on all the platforms, man. I mean,
Skrilla Gorillas. Skrilla Gorillas magazine. That's Monster Yo's project.
I mean, Cali is active, man.
Yeah, that's something I also take pride in being here in California. It's like the gangbanging culture started off as a good thing. It was supposed to be about community and about protecting our community and our land and us as a people, looking out for each other. But of course, somewhere during the 80s, early 90s, it got thrown out of whack with all of the guns and drugs that were pushed in our community. Not by us, by the way, but by the government. Put it in our communities to distract us and take us off course from that community upliftment. And a lot of people don't know what these gangs stand for. Like, perfect example, the Crips. Community resistance or revolution in progress.
In progress, yes.
Yeah, and it's knowledge behind that. They studied under the Panthers and got a lot of influence from the Panthers. Now, something like that, I would have to ask anybody, something like that, do you think that their first action in their own neighborhood will be violence and drunkenness and drug abuse? No, it's all about community upliftment. Everything that really a melanated person has owned or touched has always started with love and compassion and from the heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at it, shout out to Ray, and Ray Jr., True Blue, Caesar.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when you look at the history with Raymond Washington Jr. and Stanley Tukey Williams, there's such a rich story. Once again, for those that have not checked out, Birth of a Crip, Birth of a Crip, the Boy Who Created an Army by Kenya Ware. Y'all need to watch it. It is absolutely incredible documentary.
Yes, sir. Tap in.
Yes, when you look at that history, and when you look at even how when the communities, those groups were brought together, a lot of them to fight against racist whites. But when you look at where there is Black unity, there's going to inevitably be someone who's going to throw a monkey wrench. I'm not at liberty to tell the whole story, but it's out there. Look at what happened with the 8 Trays in the 60s who were allies, and then how they ended up falling out with each other.
Right, over a simple fist fight that got blown out of proportion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Monster Cody told that story before he passed about how, there was somebody, from the 60s got killed allegedly by an 8 Tray, and he was like, we couldn't give the 8 Tray up because we didn't know who it was ourselves. But they think what they think happened was somebody was set in there by another party to disrupt it.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that, because there was a member, nobody knew him, but like he just got brought in and nobody knew him, but he took that shot and changed history forever.
Yeah. And I mean, it's in that started a 40-year war between them behind that.
Still to this day.
When you think about the California culture in terms of hustle with the music, not only in Long Beach, but LA, Compton, and a lot of those artists.
I couldn't hear that last part. What'd you say, T-Max?
What'd you think about in terms of the hustle and the flow in terms of artists coming out of LA, Compton, as well as Long Beach? What have you seen in terms of how those artists move, like BG Perico, of course, Compton AV, many others, who have been moving and shaking with it.
Oh yeah. I would like to say, first of all, give love to all of those artists, because they're really lifting up West Coast hip hop, California hip hop. I always say the left coast with the utmost, it's a lot of history and a lot of architects from the West Coast that deserve to be respected, from the Freestyle Fellowship to the Hieroglyphic, to the artists that you named, female artists also, the Queen of Compton, aka Black Diamond, Yara, Honey Blunt. There's a lot of female MCs out here that are vicious.
MC
Medusa,
Trouble back in the day,
MC Trouble, RP to also a fellow Detroiter turned California migrant, the Lady Boss, first female gangster rapper. Can't forget her, man.
Oh my god!
Right, and she was a fellow Detroiter.
Yes, she was. Rest in peace, Lachelle Laws, with her fine.
Yeah, man, and it's just a lot of history behind that, and a lot of people sometimes, especially like in the early stages of hip hop, they wanted to count the West Coast out, but I would say it like this, because a lot of people don't know this, but gangster rap originated in the East Coast, Philadelphia, Schoolie D, PSK.
What does it mean? Yeah.
Right. But when the West Coast got a hold of hip hop and found that as a gift and an art form, they said, like, hold up, we could turn this into something that could represent us as well. And they turned that gangster rap up like 1,000,000%. If it wasn't for Snoop, for NWA, Ice Cube, Ice-T, Spice, Spice One, like artists like that really put gangster rap in the forefront, because yes, hip hop and gangster rap was originated back east in the East Coast. You can't take that away from them. But what you can say is there wouldn't be a prevalent aspect that is not only gangster rap, but just West Coast hip hop in general to be added to the tapestry of hip hop altogether. Like, the West Coast is a prominent piece in hip hop, and me being from the Midwest originally, living in the East Coast in New York, and now here on the West Coast, I have that that formula, if you will, the ammunition to give to not only the listeners but to other artists. Like, look, the West Coast has something to say. Long Beach, California has something to say. The North Side of Long Beach, respectfully, has something to say. And I want to be that voice right there next to Vince Staples and OT Genesis. You know what I mean? They're from North Side of Long Beach as well.
Man, I mean, but to see how it's blown up over the years, man. When you look at California, rest in peace to Nip. Shout out to Mike and Keys, of course, aka the Futuristics. And when you look at what Nip did in terms of really invigorating that next wave, in terms of, especially from the set, you know, Pac-Man the Gunman, you know, Jay Stone, you know, rest in peace to G.I. Joe, you know, shout out to Crenshaw 60s, you know, High Park, you know what I'm saying? Definitely. I mean, it's always been rich out there. I mean, we even take it down to San Diego. Shout out to Mitchie Slick with Wrong Kind.
Mitchie Slick,
all those guys.
Yup.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him and CJ. The whole crew, man.
Definitely.
And we how did the move, obviously coming from Detroit, and making so many sojourns. I want to go back to Detroit for a second, because obviously Detroit has its own pedigree of the streets as well as hip hop. I mean, when you think about Finkel, when you think about 7th, 8th, and 9th Mile,
6 Mile,
6 Mile. I mean, when you think about I mean, we look at the you know, the Young Boys Inc., you know, Best Friends, Chambers Brothers.
Playboy,
and of course a crew that everybody knows. Shout to Meech and Southwest, BMF.
BMF, definitely. Thank God that those boys is free. Both was it East Side T, I think is his name, and his brother
Southwest,
Southwest T. Excuse me, Southwest T and Big Meech. Thank God those brothers are free because they got a story to tell. And a lot of those guys, unfortunately, aren't with us to tell their story. So the ones that are alive and that had a chance to make it out the game, like those brothers, have that right to tell that story, because people think of the streets sometimes as such a negative and dark place. And while there is violence in the streets, there are a lot of dark places in the streets. There's also a lot of light in those instances, in those stories, because it's hard to make it out of the city, especially where you come from, where I come from, the East Side, 7 Mile of Detroit. It's survival of the fittest out there, survival of the trillest. Like, either you will do it or you won't do it. And a lot of those guys deserve to tell their story. And a lot of sisters, respectfully, deserve to tell their story.
Shit, I mean, when you think about it in terms of a lot of ballers came out there, of course, you know, Chris Webber, you know, Jalen Rose.
You know, the Fab Five.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, shout out to them. I mean, and when you look at, and especially, but there's always been a camaraderie and a sense of community. Shout to Meech, because everybody, one thing we could say about Meech, Meech was about bringing people together. Everybody, you know, the media tried to paint him as this violent kingpin. I'm like, no, Meech was not like that. Meech was about
he was
bringing
a very
people
friendly
together.
dude.
Meech was about bringing people together. His thing was violence is bad for business. You know,
I was going to say that. I'm glad you touched on that, because he didn't even want the violence.
No, you know, but I mean, and one thing about it, while Meech has acknowledged what he did, Meech was never somebody that just was like, he was just going to blast. No, that was never who he was.
Right. He was a businessman and I guess a conduit to bring other people together, if you will, like a bridge. He wanted to bring as many people together at the table as possible to make money.
Absolutely. Do you see today in the game of it, do you think that there's a lack of communication and camaraderie with a lot of artists coming together? Because we see so many of these artists today just taking shots at each other, dissing. I mean, just random insults for no reason.
And to me, I think that's also a lost art form, the battle aspect of hip hop. Like, it was at one point where everybody wanted to be friends with everybody and nobody wanted to ruffle any feathers or say the wrong thing. Sometimes people suck, or sometimes people they need not to be brought down a peg, but just to be checked. Like, you're not as good as you think you are, and I got the skills to back it up to show the public how you not as good. Like B.I.G. Rest in peace, Biggie Smalls. He first started on the street battling people, and he was one to be reckoned with. You did not want to go toe to toe with the big man from Brooklyn. And I think we need to bring that back. Like, we don't always have to be friends, but at the end of the day, we should respect each other in hip hop. We should want to extend that olive branch of peace. But just because I don't fuck with your style or I don't agree with what you saying as far as, you know, on the mic, doesn't mean that we can't be friends or at least respect each other off the mic or, you know, off the stage. Like we have to realize that at the end of the day, hip hop is not only a culture, but it's a sport. And like the teacher KRS-One said itself, hip hop is what we live, rap is what we do, and we got to learn to bridge those gaps, but also know the difference between the two. Like, hip hop is a culture, it's a lifestyle, it's the way you walk, the way you talk, the way, you know, you greet your brother or sister in the streets, you know, peace, God, you know what I mean, and doing all the knowledge and whatnot. But rap, that's the art form. That's what we do. That's the words behind the culture. You know what I mean? That's what we use to either uplift each other or even possibly destroy each other. And battling, to me, needs to come back into hip hop. We can handle our differences without picking up a gun or a knife or even, you know, boxing each other. Sometimes all it takes is just a good battle to settle differences.
Right.
And
right,
what you said, yeah.
Right, because
go ahead, King, go ahead.
People. Yeah, because I'm like this, man. I'm tired of memes and I'm tired of trolls, man. We want music back.
Yeah. If I see another meme, instead of an MC picking up a mic or a pen and expressing themselves the original way that they're supposed to, I'm gonna throw a fit. I mean, it's ridiculous.
When you look at what has become, because this is directly correlated to the state of rap today. There's been a trend going online where, you know, a youngin is bringing flashcards for people to read, and a lot of these young people cannot read.
Yeah,
and
they can't even write cursive no more.
And yes, and by proxy, when we're looking at the level of literacy, because you have to be fluent in the language with a command like patent in order to get the word action. So when we think about what is happening, when you're talking about societal studies have shown the literacy rate in this country that only 50% of all adults in this country can read at a sixth grade level. And even, you know, and it's like we're seeing it reflected in the music in terms of where a lot of these lyrics, we're not getting opening lines like the waterproof MC.
You kind of went out, T-Mac.
You know, what we're seeing now in terms of it, we're not, the level of fluency and literacy is not the same. Like, we're not getting the opening lines like Raz Cass's Soul and Ice remix, the waterproof MC. You ain't wetting me. You need to stop rapping and start robbing banks like Steady B. Because see, no matter how much green you make, you never taste the avocado. Just another broke Versace model.
Bars.
I mean, yeah, and now we're getting some of these rappers with some Cat in the Hat rhymes.
Yeah,
it's like, you know, what happened? Where did the lack of language start to infect a craft that is predicated on expressing it in such a profound and resonating fashion?
Yeah, like the rhymes like The Message or Self-Destruction or any rhymes from KRS-One really, and the Tribe Called Quest even or the Far Side or, you know, Black Star. It's like it's down to that, like, or Nas, like I am or I can think where I want to be, like just rhymes like that. It's like you got to think about that and where the knowledge comes from. Like, if it wasn't for the Fab Five or Rakim, or, you know, it was about knowledge. And cats used to rock the Africa medallions and the Dookie rope chains with gold medallions, just like Mansa Musa. You know what I mean? A lot of people
King
don't know about
Mansa
him.
Musa, yes. Mansa
One of
Musa,
the
the richest
richest
man to
dudes
ever
in the
live in
world.
Africa.
Exactly, exactly. And that's how we have to learn. We were kings and queens first. Our princes and princesses. People used to wrap gold around their necks, heavy jewelry, rings, and just like how we used to wear the 5-finger rings. African kings and queens used to really do that, and we got to bring back the history of that. Like, we were once used to be decked out in jewels, but we had knowledge. We had jewels and knowledge itself to match that jewelry that we used to wear. It wasn't just about looking good. We were also intelligent back in the day too.
Well, I mean, Africa is the mother of civilization. You know,
that's right.
It's the name from where Planet Asia. It all started in Africa.
And also big ups to Planet Asia, one of the illest West Coast MCs out here. Planet Asia and Roscoe.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
When you got that, go ahead, King.
Yeah, man. You know, we were shooting about comic books and sports like that. You know, we just had Monday Night Raw. I mean, what was your top 5 favorite wrestlers? So you said you was a part of the rapid wrestling community.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you said that, E. Oh man, my favorite wrestler out of all wrestling was the Ultimate Warrior when I was a kid. The Ultimate Warrior, and I would say Macho Man Randy Savage. What else? Macho Man Randy Savage. Well, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage, the Iron Sheik. I would say who else? Oh, the Junkyard Dog. And the Oriental Express. That's my 5 right there. I was trying to think of some female wrestlers, but it's hard to think of some from the old school wrestling.
Wendy Richter. You got to have Wendy Richter. You know, Fabulous Moolah. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a wrestling fan. At the end of the day, like I grew up when wrestling was wrestling for real, like the 80s, like early 90s, like Hulk Hogan and all of them. And Sting. Can't forget about Sting. Was it oh shit, I can't remember. NWO. Yeah, NWO. Yes, sir.
I mean, but when you think of when you think about the wrestling, when you bring this the elements of it in terms of entertainment, when we look at guys like Ultimate Warrior,
that's my
when
dog.
You look at the charisma, yes, I mean, you know, the funny thing, you know, rest in peace to Warrior, you know, where he was not, you know, I think, and I want to be very careful how I say this, because I got nothing but love for Warrior. Warrior always got criticism for not being the most polished wrestler, but in terms of working the room, he's top 5 to me in terms of a guy who knew how to work the room.
Oh yeah, I would say even between him and Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah, but Warrior, I mean, but what they call wrestling that pop when you hear somebody come out. I mean, Warrior.
He was the man. He would bring everybody on their feet.
Who can forget that 88 SummerSlam against Honky Tonk Man when he won the Intercontinental belt?
That nigga got on that cocaine, ran all the way fast.
Yes, sir.
This is 88. This is 88 in the crack era, so you know that nigga was on that floor.
Oh yeah, zooted and booted. Man, he was out running down that little runway and just body slam whoever.
Look, you hear that opening guitar? Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. I love wrestling, man. I'm glad y'all said that.
But yeah, man. But you probably got one more question in before we gotta wrap it up, because I gotta run on the time limit. But
yes, sir.
We got a good hour in. It was a really dope build with you, man. We're gonna keep pushing that campaign for you for the Devil's Executioner.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you have any shout outs? Oh yeah, big shout outs to Screwball Click, you know what I mean, SBC. Woo. Shout out to my label, 2P Entertainment. You know what I mean? 2P is the label. It's 2P or it's too late. Shout out to my brother Nas. He'll be performing in Long Beach real soon. He's coming to town. 28th. Shout out to all of Queensbridge, man, all of hip hop, yo. Definitely.
Before we jump off, I gotta say, shout out to my girl Tash the Plug, representing
Yeah,
South
yeah.
Virginia Beach. Love you dearly. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
Man, thank you for, and of course, you know, Q, you know what I'm saying? Q Smooth, 7805.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yeah.
joining us. And for everybody out there, you know, listening, we thank y'all for tuning in with us tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, shout out also and salute to Comet 5000 also, my brother Comet, my big brother Black Poet, KL, rest in peace, you know what I mean, SBIP, also to Hostile, no doubt, and Quran from Screwball. Shout out to the family, everybody, man.
No doubt,
Definitely.
man. We had a dope bill. You know, it got a little bit difficult at first, but we got through it, man.
Yeah. We got out the matrix. We here.
Absolutely. And before we jump off, I gotta give a big super thank you shout out to Samaya Krishnamurthy, author of Fashion Killer. Thank you to her, you know, for the book. From Simon and Schuster, the blueprint, the story of Jay-Z, Biggs, and Dane, what they did building Rockefeller. The book will be out in December 1st of this year. Thank you though for the advanced copies, Samaya and Simon and Schuster. And once again, Scholar Czar, you have given us such a lesson in academics and the arts and the knowledge and philosophy of hip-hop greatness. Thank you. We can't wait to have you back on.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna be back. This ain't the first interview, the first of many to come. And thank you,
Absolutely.
E. Appreciate you, Don. And can't forget the architect of Screwball, SBIP, the Screwy Louie. No doubt. Yeah.
All right. We out.
All right. We out.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.